Guys, do you like my hair? Do you, punk? It is just way too hot for me to always be doing and straightening my hair, so you're gonna get a messy bun today. I got the new Moondust palette in the mail from Urban Decay yesterday, and I swatched them on Snapchat, and they are just so beautiful, so sparkly, so pigmented. You know, it had my name written on it. I wanted to do something colorful, something different, something vibrant, something out of the box. And then this palette arrived, so I felt like it was fate. You already know the drill. I did my brows and my primer off camera. I feel like I'm always priming and stuff for you guys, so. But what I am going to do is use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer and let this kind of seep into the skin first. And I focus it in the areas where I have the most problems. So that is around my nose and right here on my cheeks. And then I use whatever's left over and just rub it into my skin. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can get a closer look at what's going on the lids over here. Whenever I do like tutorials like this where I need to kind of go into a bunch of palettes, I feel bad because I know I'm gonna be using 3 palettes right now, so I'm sorry. So we're gonna be going into the Morphe 350 Matte. You guys know I have a discount code with Morphe. It's good on all Morphe products. It's good in stores. It's good online. It's NICOL in all caps at the checkout. The first color we're going to be using is this one right here. It's very similar to my skin tone already, but what I like to do is start off with a transition color like that. It makes it so much easier for blending later on. And again, we're just going up in the crease. And then going completely over that color we just did, I am taking this orangey matte shade, again from the 350 Matte palette. This is a warm tone lover's dream. This palette is my go-to for like transition colors. And again, we're just going back and forth in windshield wiper motions. I always like to start in the center of my lid or wherever I am, just because I feel like that's where it distributes the most product. Okay, so now I am closing this palette up. We are done with this palette. This is the Morphe 12P. I highly recommend this palette because, first of all, it's so cute and tiny, but it has an array of basically every color on the rainbow in matte form. So this is always like one of my go-tos when I'm working with colorful eyeshadow because this just has every color there is. So taking this like aqua color and my Morphe M433 brush, we're going to be working this in the crease, and what I'm going to be doing is like kind of building it up in a way so that it blends with the orange. You want to take your time with this, honestly, like blend until your arms fall off and stuff. So yeah. So now taking this like deeper navy color in that same 12P palette, and now I'm taking my Morphe M514 brush. This one is Life. It is amazing for working with darker colors, and I don't know, I just feel like it does the job for you. And again, like the way that we're going to do this is I want my whole eye to be blue. So what you're doing is like kind of leading into that transition. So again, just take your time, go nice and easy. I also am kind of swirling the outer V and like in that area to kind of like, I don't know, smoke it out in the edges. I don't really want to have any harsh edges. And don't worry, like obviously I'm being messy on my lid. We're gonna cover that up. That's why I always like working with transition colors first. I find they're a lot easier to work with before you have your lid color on. Okay, and now for the main attraction. I get way too happy with makeup. So what I do recommend with these shadows is applying them wet. I feel like you won't get a lot of fallout this way, and that's like the best way for the pigment to really pop. That's how I did my arm swatch on Instagram. I wet the shadows and applied them to my arm. You can use water, but I'm actually gonna use a Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, which is basically the equivalent to water. So what I'm gonna do is just wet my brush. I am going to be taking the color Vega, and I am going to be packing that all over the lid, and I actually am using my Dose of Colors concealer brush and starting in the center of this. And if you want to use your fingers, you totally can too, but I definitely recommend wetting your fingers or your brush. So we're not gonna stop here. Now what I want to do, again, I told you guys we're getting bright and funky up in here. By all means, you can totally leave it at this. You don't have to do this step, but I am going to be taking the color Element and packing that on the center of the lid. And the way I'm going to do this is with my finger. So I'm actually going to wet my finger with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and then I'm going to pack it on. Taking the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, I'm just prepping my lashes for falsies. I don't think I'm going to do any liner with this look. I love the way it looks just like this, but feel free to add it if you'd like. So I'm taking my Huda lashes, and these are in the style Scarlet, and I'm going to be applying them with the Clear Duo Eyelash Adhesive. When you aren't doing any liner, you want to make sure you're using a clear adhesive. So this is the All Nighter Urban Decay new foundation, and it's waterproof, and it's meant for all skin types. It says shake before using it. I will let you guys know what I think of this, like, as the video goes on. I have very dry skin, so I'm curious to see. It always freaks me out when I use a matte foundation that's meant for all skin types. So we're gonna see, we're gonna test it out. And I'm just going to apply it to the face. I like to pump it on the back of my hand first, and then blend it all out with my Morphe Beauty Blender. So right off the bat, I am noticing that it is full coverage. Like, this was 3 pumps of foundation, and I barely even made a dent in it. I would say, like, you probably only need like one to 2 pumps of foundation with this, even with the Beauty Blender. Really impressed with the coverage. To conceal, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is in the shade Light. I love this. It's like super lightweight and smells like coconuts. So hell yeah. I'm getting under my eyes, my forehead, down the center of my nose, and my chin. And then to contour, I'm also taking a concealer. This is from Tarte, and this is in the color Deep. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, this is the Amazonian Clay Waterproof 12-Hour Concealer. And I am just going to hit my contours with this on my cheek, my forehead, my nose, and my chin a little bit. And then I'm just going to blend everything out with the Morphe Beauty Blender. Okay, so I just set my makeup as well. Again, I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter. Not much has changed in my foundation routine, so I don't know. I don't want to be like boring to you guys, so I just cut it out. But I do feel like it's very matte on its own. I barely need to use any powder on the parts where there is foundation. So I'm gonna contour with MAC Give Me Sun, and this is my Morphe G40 brush. Completely obsessed with this brush. I feel like it's one of my favorite for contouring. It just makes it so much easier. I like the way that powder is going on this foundation. It's not giving me a hard time. I like it, I like it. So I'm just baking my contours to make them sharp. I'm not baking in a lot because this foundation is matte and I don't want to make it too drying on my skin. To smoke that lower lash line out, I'm basically going to follow that same pattern using the blue and then that really pretty orangey red in the center. And yeah, I mean, take your time with this. When you're working with dark eyeshadow, you want to make sure you tap off your brush so that none of it falls onto your cheeks or anything like that. The last thing you want is a little smear, you know? So for cream highlights, I'm using the Flash Illuminator by the Estee Edit. This stuff is super intense, so you literally only need a drop of it. And I think it's best to apply with a brush because you get an even disperse of product rather than your finger. Like, you look at that insanity. I just want to blend that in. And then to highlight over it, I'm also using the Powder Flash Illuminator for Estee Edit. You want to be careful because this stuff is intense, girl. Woohoo! Hell yeah. I think I need like a little bit of blush with this, so I'm just gonna literally swipe every color in the Tarteist blush palette. Any of Tarte's blushes will seriously not let you down. They are so beautiful and just so pigmented, and they really do like last all day. Overall, I'm really loving the coverage on this foundation. I think it's so beautiful. Next time, I'm gonna try to mix some of my like Farasoli Rose Gold drops with it because I feel like it'll add a little bit more dew, but other than that, I really do like it. So now I'm taking the Huda Beauty liquid lipsticks, which by the way, are incredible. I think these are my new favorite liquid lipsticks. They last through an atomic bomb. And this is in the color Trendsetter. And this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I love you guys so much. And I'll talk to you soon.